Hello,
I didn't know
and welcome
who I was.
to Man of the
The
Antz.
police won't help you, and the priests don't believe you.
Plays
You call on Paul Prospero. You call on me.
The Vanishing of Ethan Carter.
Like Ethan. You're right. Plenty do. Ethan's letter started out just like any other fan mail. But soon there were mentions of things no little boy should know about. There are places that exist that very few people can see. Ethan could have drawn a map. I hadn't entered Red Creek Valley yet, but already I could feel its darkness reaching out for me.
Cool.
Finding Ethan Carter wasn't going to be as easy as knocking on his door. I was too late for that.
There's no door.
To find Ethan, I had to figure out what this place was trying to hide from me.
Okay, so The Vanishing of Ethan Carter is some form of narrative adventure style game that came out a couple of years back now. I've never played it. I have had it in my Steam library for some time, and then they released a VR add-on to the game, which is an additional paid add-on. But that's fine, If you're going to do something and do it well, I don't mind paying a few more pounds for it. Not quite maybe to the Fallout 4 spend another £60 on this game. I think it's £60. It's definitely full price tier, rather than, you know, here's a £10 DLC add-on for the original Fallout. And maybe there's a lot of work gone into it, but I've already spent a lot of money on Fallout 4 and the Season Pass and played it for hundreds of hours. So maybe not so keen on doing all that again anytime soon. I will pick it up at some point, if nothing else, just to have a quick look at how it works, but Jesus Christ. But maybe don't expect a full series on it, I guess is what I'm trying to say there. I don't really know what this sense does. So it shows you a different world? Seems to show you a different world. Hold A. Well, I am holding A. I don't understand. Hold A. I am holding A. Nothing is happening. Nothing is happening. How have I already failed to understand this game? It's been like 2 minutes. 3 minutes 30 according to the clock. And that didn't include the loading time. How am I already so wrong? Try some other buttons. B is crouch. Triggers don't do anything. X does nothing. Y does nothing. Up, down, left, right, clicking in the sticks does nothing. Just A. What does A do? You can't move when it's in. You can't. None of the other buttons do anything. Oh, I don't understand. I don't understand. Oh, you can go up there. I wasn't expecting that to work. I don't understand what I'm even looking at when it happens. Can I only do that? Well, I can only do that when I'm looking at the trap and I'm near enough to it. So there has to be some purpose. Has to be a purpose. What's that? Bodies. There are bodies. In fact, now that I've noticed them, there are bodies everywhere. Not so much in that direction. So is that kind of telling me to go and follow the bodies, maybe? I don't know. I'm already confused. So yes, Vanishing of Ethan Carter. By default, It does output in the dual distorted, slightly rounded lens view on the monitor. So I'm not recording that. I am recording the Oculus mirror instead. If you have been watching Everspace or... my word, what's the other one? Solus Project, which has just about finished now, so by now that should be up and complete, which I'm quite happy about. I don't mean because I wasn't enjoying the game. I mean because I really wanted to find out what the hell was going on in that game. And mostly... oh my word. Oh my god. Oh my god. So again, just littered with skeletons. In most directions this time as well. Well, not so much that direction, I guess. But definitely in that direction, which is roughly towards that other trap, isn't it? So no idea what's going on. No idea what's going on here at all. So I'm recording the Oculus mirror. Lots of bodies again. Slightly bigger view we got this time as well, isn't it? Why did you go away? Does it get bigger the longer you hold it looking at the trap? Is that a thing? Let's test it on this one. Oh, it does. It does. Well, that's very useful, isn't it? Should have figured that out sooner. So yes, recording the Oculus Mirror. Oculus Mirror currently has a problem, which I am very sure is the Oculus Mirror. I do not agree with Oculus's assessment that it is my computer's fault in any way, or my monitor's fault, or my TV's fault. I think that is all absolute rubbish. I think they haven't tested it themselves at their end. I think they are laying the blame at me because they cannot be bothered to admit the fact there is a fault, or even test to see if they have the same fault. Which I'm not bitter about. Not bitter about at all. There is an issue where if... hello, trap. If your game drops below, lots of dead bodies. Guess I was expecting that. If your game drops below, do you have to move away from it before it gets a certain size? I don't know. Below 45 frames per second, assuming it is using the Oculus API. And I'm not sure if this would be because I'm running this from Steam. So if it drops below a certain threshold, you start to get red flicker at the times when the game cannot generate. Oh god. Oh god. I wasn't expecting that to happen. Was not expecting that to happen. Okay. Now we're in the world of the dead. Just everything's dead. So in the quick short playthrough I've had, I've been trying to keep an eye on the screen. Is this exactly where we just were? Oh, it is. It's not put us very far away at all. So this is just a different time? There is the train tracks in the tunnel. That's still blocked over there. Oh my god, I've got no idea what's happening. No idea what's happening. Maybe we just have to scan a certain number before it would allow us to enter this particular world, whatever's going on. So if you do experience any red flicker, I do apologise. I do find this a preferential method to recording the distorted output, because you then either get this distorted output itself, which doesn't look as good by half as having a nice undistorted square video, or I have to do a lot of post-processing on it, so I have to do a few things to try and make it fit into a square window, which makes it look a little bit better, but it's still not good. And it's certainly not as good as just having what you have now, which is a rectangular screen. So what does this say? Sap by Ethan Carter. An old man came to the forest every day to drink sap from the trees. To get there, the old man had to step around many dangerous traps. The villagers believed this old man have hidden a jade amulet in the forest. But the old man wanted the villagers to believe this, because then they would search the forest for treasure and not drink his sap. One cool fall night, someone set fire to the forest, and the fire spread to the village. The old man escaped the fire by covering himself in sap. When he returned to the village, he found all the villagers' bones. The old man sat down and cried. Then he found some more sap to drink. And there's a little picture. And some trees and the old man's village burning. Isn't that lovely?
Ethan, I told you, you can't be here.
But Gramp,
Ed.
I wrote something for you.
That's real nice. Thank you. Just leave it. I'll read it later.
So one thing I will say is that I'm a little disappointed with how the... Oh, I'm back in the real world. Not in Bone Central. Does that mean that trap's back there? A little disappointed with how the game handles text. Bearing in mind, the trap is not back. So this is a third place now? Weird. Handles text. It displays the text in the left eye screen only. So you either have to close your right eye to read it well, or focus your right eye over to the left and at quite a narrow distance so you can actually read it. And bearing in mind this was a paid add-on for a game. 1 dead in house fire. Oh my god, see like that, I don't know if you can see that particularly well. I can see that in the preview it is just on the left-hand side of the screen. And I think it's kind of stuck there, isn't it? So I don't know if you can actually see all of that at all. I don't think you can, which is a bit of a pain, really, isn't it? So I shall read it out anyway, as I always do, but I have to close my right eye to read that comfortably. So it says, 1 dead in house fire by Jeff Duran. Bayfield County. Fire damaged a historic home in Red Creek Valley Wednesday morning, according to officials from the Bayfield County Fire Department. A family of 6 was asleep when the blaze broke out at the remote house, once owned by Albert Vandergriff, at 46 Old Ogden Road in Red Creek Valley. There we go. He'd be dead. So yeah, so if you have to pay for something, I would expect it to be essentially perfect. I would very much like it to output in a nice way that's better for recording, but I don't expect that. I just, that would be a pleasant bonus. But I would expect the text and all the controls and everything to be mapped nicely to VR without me having to squint or close one eye to read things. So that's a mild negative so far. The game, on the other hand, is beautiful. Look at that. That is beautiful. I am running it at default settings pretty much, so it isn't maximum. The anti-aliasing is turned down a little bit. I think I turned the anti-aliasing off, and the resolution, is down to 80%. Whereas if I had a chance, I would be running this much, much higher to see exactly what it looked like in all its glory. But unfortunately, the red flicker is the issue there. If I start pushing it, you'll start getting a lot of red flicker, and almost certainly at some point you probably will get it. So again, apologies for that, when or if, I guess, that occurs. Okay, well, let's head across that little bridge then. Doesn't seem like there's anything that way. So yes, talking of negatives, this game is replacing the Solace Project series that I did, which was 42 videos in the end. So a mammoth series. It was one of the first VR series, if not the first VR series I started off. The first game I started off was Planet Coaster, which is... I finished the main campaign on that, which is also about 40 videos not very long ago. But Solace Project, I think, was the first VR game I started a proper series on.
Seemed like a quiet, ordinary place. I've learned 2 things in my life. No
What have you learned?
place is truly quiet.
And?
Nowhere is really ordinary. Ethan warned me about that.
Well, Ethan would know.
To be fooled by what I saw here. He didn't need to worry. I'd worked dozens of cases, hundreds. This would be my last one. Already I knew that.
That's beautiful, isn't it? It's not insanely, like, over-the-top produced. You've got some kind of fuzzy, almost painted-looking trees. Some very simple water without too much reflection or fanciness on it. But that is absolutely beautiful, isn't it? It really is. So yes, this came after the Solace Project. Or will be the project. The series that is after Solace Project. There we go. I had a bit of a think about what I was going to do. I wanted to try and do something that was not the same vein, because Solace Project was a space-based adventure story sort of experience. to do with all kinds of crazy stuff. If you didn't watch it, I do highly recommend it. That's another game which defaulted to outputting in the less preferred dual distorted lens mode, which isn't ideal. And this was also, I started it before Oculus Mirror was updated to support outputting in a nice fashion. So the original like 20 odd videos, maybe 30 odd, are all in the distorted view, which I've then done some post-processing on to try and straighten out. So it doesn't look brilliant to start with. When I start doing the Oculus Mirror, it definitely looks a lot sharper as such, but I also have to drop the game quality down to stop it doing the red flicker. So it's a bit of a compromise. But if you didn't watch that, I do highly recommend it. I absolutely loved that game. It is also a monitor-based game as well. So if you do start watching and think, actually, I'd really like to play this, you don't need a VR headset to do so. So stop watching my series. No spoilers. Go and buy it. Play it. I'm not shilling this for any particular reason. I had to pay for the game like any other normal muggle. But it was just a lot of fun. I really did enjoy it. So I was thinking about what series would replace the Solace project. And I wanted to do something that was relatively adventure-based then, because I wanted to do something along the same sort of vein. So I was having a bit of a think about it, and there was a few things. There was obviously the Vanishing of Ethan Carter. There was also Abduction, which was the other one that I considered doing. Can we go back? No. Can we go forward? No. When you say turn off, it's not on at the moment, is it? Does that mean we need to get it started? I guess it does, doesn't it? We need to get that started somehow. Inspect. There is blood. Might be animal or human, could be an accident or a murder. And it's missing the crankshaft. Fresh scratches on it. So it's recently used. So we need that crank. The game is very unsubtly telling us that. I am liking this, you know. I'm really liking this kind of investigation. Almost come up and said hold A then, didn't it? Oh, it said it again. Oh, hello. Oh, it was going to show me where it was. So it is by the water. Any distinguishing marks at all? There's a tree up there with what looks like two stones next to it. Quite a sharp cliff. It looks like there's a path that comes down there. Nothing else to really distinguish it, is there? So is that back or forward, do we think? It must be around where we are, I'm guessing. Is that a bridge over there? Well, I really do not know. So anyway, we're looking, when we come to an area like this, oh, there's the crank. This is what we're looking for. Near the water, cliffs, trees. Trees are quite a vague. Could I move around in that? I didn't try. Oh, I let go of A. Maybe not. So we need to go and find that crank then. Doesn't look like it's down there. Doesn't look like it's down there, but it's very hard to tell, isn't it? Here is a road. Let's try left first. Doesn't look like we can go this way, but we'll make sure. So yeah, so there's abduction was another one of the options. Looks a bit like a grave. There are other things as well I can't think of now. Windlands, which is a VR Spider-Man game, essentially, so we can describe it. You're not Spider-Man, but you swing around between stuff, which I very much want to play. I only played it very briefly, and I haven't played it with the touch controllers yet, so I'm excited to play it. So that will be coming at some point. But not now, obviously, because I'm now playing The Vanishing of Ethan Carter. And what I like to do when I'm planning to play a game, or when I'm actually playing a game, depending, I do like to email the developers, or the cut ties. Untied. Tied. No blood, so no one was damaged. Rope. Yep. It is rope. Which I can't do anything with. I do like to, like I say, email the developers or the publishers. This is a bit different. That's a dead man. Rest of the corpse is going to be over there somewhere, isn't it? There is a blood trail. There is a blood trail. Victim dragged away by something. Could have crawled away, I guess. It is just his legs. But, I mean, he would have struggled. It would have been a bit of an ordeal, wouldn't it? So let's follow this then, because this looks kind of like what we're looking for. Is this something we can look at? No. Hello? Let's have a bit of an inspection of this guy. Blood from the legs. Blood from, well, the legs. Fractured skull, you say? Hard to tell. Head trauma? Well, I guess so, yeah. Touch. Oh, I'm going to touch that so hard. What did that do? I guess it would highlight anything nearby that's associated with this guy's murder. Or it shows us something, didn't it? It gives us a hint as to where we should be looking. But I can't see anything particularly distinguishing. Trees and rocks and trees and rocks. Nothing on the ground. Not far from a building of some form. Not far from a building of some form. Ah, okay. Couple of those posts. In fact, that's just down there, isn't it? I'm pretty sure. Yeah, that's just down there. Okay. I can't see anything. So yes, I was telling you my little story. I like to email developers or publishers, whoever, to try and... First of all, I emailed them just saying, would you mind if I monetize the video? I'm going to be doing a series, or I have got a series, which I may be enabling monetization on. Just to make sure developers are happy. It also gives them a chance to say whether there are any particular considerations they have or requirements they have with Let's Plays on YouTube. Sometimes they say, you know, link to the game's website or to the store page or something like that. Sometimes they say don't monetize, we don't want you to do that, which is fine, I have no issue with that whatsoever. A lot of the time these days, in this day and age, you do find that they put the information on their website somewhere. Sometimes you have to search around a little bit, sometimes it's very obvious, and when they do that, that's super, mega, awesomely useful. It genuinely really is so cool when developers do that, or publishers do that, because it makes our lives so much easier. And I think Vanishing of Ethan Carter already has information on a website, but I emailed the Abduction developers, Cyan, and said, you know, I'm considering doing a series, because if I'm not doing it this time, I probably will do it at some point. Considering doing a series, do you, enable... Are you happy with monetization? The crank should be down here somewhere. This is definitely the right spot, isn't it? Definitely the right spot. Yeah. How do you feel about monetization and YouTube policies, that sort of thing? And they came back to me and they said, no monetization. And that's fine. You know, like I say, I don't mind if they say no monetization. There's that crank we need. Excellent. Used to beat someone to death with. Probably that man with the head trauma, I guess. Am I supposed to be seeing something in particular? Because I'm pretty sure I've looked at the interesting end already. Can we go into the water? We can. Can we drown ourselves? No. So yeah, they said no monetization, which, like I say, that's fine. I have no issue with that whatsoever. I'm happy to do a series without monetization. It's just, I'm not going to get any money back from YouTube for a long time at this stage. The amount of time it'll take me to actually earn enough to get money out of them is going to be quite a while. And I'm happy with that. I just want to try and minimize my losses as much as possible, I guess. I pretty much exclusively play VR just in my Let's Plays now, because I do so many videos, I don't have a chance to do it anywhere else. And I spent quite a lot of money on the Oculus sale, pretty much just so I could get games to do on my channel. I also bought a couple of games on Steam. I have bought a microphone particular to do Planet Coaster with, a pop filter, which isn't much, but it's there. So it's just a lot of little things really that start adding up quite significantly. So that's why I monetize. I'm unfortunately not rich enough to try and do it without it, and if I do get relatively big, it would be nice to actually not make money, but invest money back into the channel, into games and that sort of thing. So that's why I do it. Anyway, Cyan come back, no monetization, that's fine. They also said, the video should feature, and I haven't got the exact wording in front of me, partly because I have a headset on, so it's quite difficult, and I don't think to memorize it. The video should not contain any sort of defamation, any negative stuff about the Cyan, the developer, or Abduction the game. And I thought that was a little bit odd. It's fine saying don't make a video, or perhaps it's fine saying don't make a video solely with the intention of slagging our game off. That's... I mean, you shouldn't really be able to say we don't want negative press. I think that's quite a anti-free speech thing to do, isn't it? Rock, rock, divot, that's a footprint, mate. Fresh dirt, footprint. Say it's a footprint. Rock, rock, rock. There's a rock missing. That's what it's saying. There is a rock missing. Which is around somewhere. Which is up here, next to this post. That rock there. Okay, we can find that. That's easy. Although I can't see... Oh, there's the post. Yeah, so... don't say anything bad about our game. At all. So again, used to bludgeon someone's head in with. A lot of that we're tending to find. What have we got here? Gasoline, diesel fuel, dropped in a rush, perhaps. Canister. What have we got here? Dried grass. Is that unusual? Rectangle shape. Oh, I see. There was something on top of it. Rail car from the bridge was here. We know where the rail car is. Oops. We should probably take a look at this anyway. There is the rail car. Yes, okay. And there is the blood that was also used to do some damage to someone. So we have a rock that went down here. Can we put the rock back? Is that what we do with it? So yes, Cyan's email regards to abduction put me off doing the game, really. Because what do they class? We have to put the world back to rights. That's what we do. What do they class as negative or bad stuff about the game? If the game has apparently got relatively poor performance. So it's one of the reasons not to get it until after I get, or not to play until after I get a new PC. So that it doesn't struggle as much. So if I say, wow, this game seems to be really poorly optimized, are they then going to come and tell me to take the video down because I said something negative about their game? Now, the game might be incredible. I've heard, in fact, really good things about the game, and I would love to play the game, and I almost certainly will play the game at some point. But always in the back of my mind, I'm going to be thinking, are they going to have an issue with this? Now, I can't imagine they will. What I think they mean basically is, you know, again, don't make a game with the sole intention, or a video with the sole intention of slagging off our game and being mean about it. But that's what free speech is. That's what the freedom of press is. I mean, obviously, I'm not press. That's as clear to see as anyone. I don't do reviews. I do Let's Plays, which isn't really a press thing as such. But to say that you can't say anything bad about our game, I think is quite bad. I'm going to try going forward first to see what happens. Is this fun? Don't want to slam into it. Will it let us go through? No. Okay, let's go backwards then. So yeah, that's why I decided to do Ethan Carter rather than Abduction. And I think that is an odd thing. I would love it if someone saw this video and who has done an abduction video and they've spoken to someone maybe a bit different, because it wasn't an official policy on their website, like I say, it was just an email. So maybe that guy's just having a bad day or something, but it doesn't feel right that a developer should say to you, you can only do a video if you say nice things. And they didn't quite say that, they said don't say bad things, which is a slightly different thing. And I'm sure that if there are things which are, if there's particularly frustrating... Is it going to tell me when I get there? You know, if there's a particularly frustrating part of the game, and I say this is really awkward and horrible, and maybe I'm not enjoying it too much, I'm sure that's not what they mean by... Let's get out a second and take a look. By negativity. So it needs to be up to here. So we're quite a way out. So, pretty much with the edge of that tree. And I'm not a particularly negative YouTuber. You know, I don't really play games for the sake of saying this is terrible. There have been games I've been a little bit negative about. Probably going to be level with that there as well, I guess, isn't it? Smashing the Battle I thought went on a bit too long. What was it called? The VR multi-game thing was pretty poor, and I was quite clear that that's pretty poor, but it was also clear to see that it was pretty poor. But I don't tend to play, I'm not one of those people who plays games just so I can say, look how bad this is, everyone. Oh, because I want to play these games because I'm having fun. That's why I play them. And I want you to watch them because they're fun as well. Not just, I'm having fun. I want everyone to have fun. Everyone should have fun at all moments. Let's bring this forward just a tad more. And then let's turn it off. So I think that's about right. Okay. So we have been going about half hours. We should probably think about stopping at some point soon. But let's have a little wander down here. There's nothing we can do with anything here. Is there anything around the back at all? No. So it hasn't come back and said, like it did with the rock, you know, this is now in the right place. Which is concerning, is not the word, but... is it right? I don't know. Alright then. So, that's enough about Abduction and Cyan. Like I said, I probably will do it at some point. I'll definitely play the game at some point. I'm certainly planning on doing a series on it. Like I said, probably after I've got a new PC with a new graphics card. So we don't run into any performance issues, particularly if I have to use the Oculus mirror. I don't know how the game outputs, so I don't know if I'd have to or not. But if it does cause a significant amount of red flicker, that's obviously going to be a bit of a problem. And now that I know about that issue, before starting a series, like I did with Solace Project and Everspace, I can look out for it a little bit more. And be a bit more aware of it. So yes, did I talk about moving house yet? I don't think I did in this series, did I? If you've watched any of the other recent videos, a couple of last videos probably, I am planning on moving house on the 28th of July. Scary music. Not a big fan of scary music. Is it a scary game? I didn't think it was a scary game. I thought it was just more like of a investigation and adventure sort of style game. That's what I was sort of counting on. But now I'm getting creepy noises and creepy music. So I am planning on moving house on the 28th. So the week before, so from around the 21st-ish, up until the first week of August, or up until around the 6th of August, I will be dropping the number of videos on the channel, probably down to 1 video a day, just so I can actually have a chance at stockpiling enough videos before I move to make sure I can get enough from the channel. So if I do that, I'd need about 14 videos or so, and if I can get a couple more, that's a bit of a, you know, a buffer in case something goes horribly wrong and I don't get the internet, or my PC breaks in transit, or something horrible like that happens, you know. And these things do happen, and the house move has been such a painful process. Anything could honestly happen at this stage. Anything could happen. So that's something to look out for, be aware of. So obviously the frequency of the videos is going to drop. So because I do roughly 2 videos a day at the moment, I say roughly because I do 2 videos a day every weekday. Weekends I sometimes do 1. It varies a little bit. Sometimes I do 2 on a Saturday and 1 on a Sunday. So rather than having 10, 12, 14 videos in a week, it'll be going down to 7. So obviously that means that the games are going to slow down a little bit in terms of progression, because at the moment it's about once every because I have 6 series on the go, roughly once every 3 days. Sometimes I do little quick looks and I throw them in here and there, so sometimes it's a little bit more, like 4 days sometimes. So obviously it's going to be, during those 2 weeks, you'll probably only get 1 or 2. If you're into a particular series, like if you just wanted to watch The Vanishing of Ethan Carter, you might only get 1 or 2 or maybe 3 videos, depending on when it starts off that period. After I've moved, though, I am hoping to not change things up a little bit. I'm very happy with how things are with the channel, but I'm looking to make a little addition to the channel, so I'm going to start doing some streaming, I think, That's the plan. I'm thinking about, at the moment, music's getting more intense, something's going to happen, don't freak out when it does. Talking to me, not to you. But also you, don't freak out. We don't want you to freak out. When it does happen, I'm planning on doing streaming. I'm thinking about doing twice a week maybe, Wednesdays and Sundays possibly during the evenings. And I'll be streaming monitor-based games rather than VR stuff. So my Planet Coaster series will be moving over to a streaming schedule, as well as anything else that I do. So maybe things like Farming Simulator, or City Skylines, or Tropico, or those sort of things. Are sort of games I think would work well in a streaming environment, and games I very much enjoy as well, which is quite helpful. I'm doing monitor-based games rather than VR because streaming is a very interactive thing. You know, you should be talking to the people who are commenting, you should be getting involved with them, you should be asking them, you know, what should I do next, what would you like me to do next, that sort of thing. It's not to say that anyone's actually going to watch, because there is a very real possibility that I will have no viewers whatsoever. Ah, okay. Oh, hello. Oh, my lord. What the hell? So I can see where we are. We came up that way previously from where the crank was. That scared the living bejesus out of me. Why is there an astronaut? What is going on in this game? So I guess we'll follow this guy for a moment. Yes, so, streaming. I'll be doing some streaming stuff. If you do have any ideas or preferences with games, do let me know. If you have a preference particularly on stream platform, let me know. I'm currently thinking about doing YouTube streaming rather than... Where's he gone? Where's he gone? Hello. YouTube streaming rather than Twitch, just because that's where my current fan base is. And fan base is a weird word to use. I said this in another video. Has he disappeared? The music seems to have changed, as if he's no longer here. And I can't see him. So yes, if you have a preference on streaming platform, do let me know. Has that happened because I didn't find him in time? I suspect it might have done because all the music stopped. So I might have to do that again, I suspect. Yeah, so I'm thinking about doing YouTube just because that's, like I say, where my current fan base is. Audience. Audience is a better word. That's where my current audience is. So if you are watching Planet Coaster at the moment, I wouldn't want you to have to sign up to a different platform if you don't already have a Twitch account or whatever, just so you can watch that, particularly if you do want to interact as well. Whereas obviously if it is on YouTube, you already follow me on there. You'll be notified when I'm streaming live and that sort of thing. So that's the plan. Has that traffic light thing disappeared? No, there it is. So I'm guessing we'll be able to start that again now. We only have to do the one. Let's have a little quick go at doing this then. See if we can actually see where he goes this time. And like I said in a different video, when I do... Oh, there's a run button. There's a run button. Excellent. So maybe don't pay attention to the direction he runs in so much as where you think he will appear. Yeah, there he is. Yeah, like I said in a different video, when I tend to ask these things, not often people really come back to me, usually. So if you do have a preference and you do let me know, chances are you will win the grand prize of getting to decide where I stream to. So if only one person gets back to me, that will probably dictate what really happens. So do let me know if you have a preference. I'm guessing a lot of people that tend to watch my channel are generally going to be the... Oh, I've lost them again. The VR crowd, so maybe won't be as interested in the streaming. I might do VR streaming, I should say. Jesus! Is that causing red flicker? No, I think we're okay. I want to go. Oh, I did go. What on earth is going on? Yeah, so I might do some streaming of VR stuff when there's something new out. Like if it's the Rick and Morty thing, I might stream that. Or if there's a new game out, like Mage's Tale, I might do a stream of that. But it's nice to get that immediate audience on something if it's something new, because you get more of a immediate sort of presence for that game rather than having to wait until I get a chance to record it, edit it, get it up. On the other hand, when it's VR, you can't interact with people. I could probably hear when people are commenting if I have some sort of notifications up, but if I do have more than a handful of viewers and there's a few people commenting, then it's buggered again, because I can't. It'll just be constantly going on, so I have to turn notifications off, and at that point, well, I can move. I didn't even think about the fact I could move. At that point, it's useless. And if it's a relatively fast-paced game where it's a bit full-on, I'm not going to have a chance to stop just to look at comments. So yeah, I'm a little bit against the idea of streaming VR. But if you have a preference, if you have any other thoughts yourself, again, do let me know. So what does this say? Fangs. The beast had fangs, but was heavy and slow. So when it saw the light in the sky, it waited, thinking the light would go out like the others before it. When it did not, the beast stood, rose up on its legs, and went to the place where the fire was still burning. As the orange light died, another took its place. This one was blue, a bright and pure blue that the creature had only seen along the edges of the stars. The beast showed its fangs and the light vanished. A moment later, the light appeared again between two distant trees. The beast wanted to go home, but could not ignore the light, so it chased it deeper into the forest. When the light stopped, it did so in a clearing of trees. The beast entered the circle, feeling no fear. The trees turned toward the beast, pointing at it like needles, but the tops of the trees lowered and dug into the ground. The trunks and roots raised into the air and closed around the beast like walls. As the ground disappeared, the beast realized it would never use its fangs again.
Get out of my room, Travis!
Stories, always with the stories.
Get out!
I read the Fangs one. I liked the Beast. At least he gets to leave this goddamn place.
Okay. Not really too sure where we are now. I'm sure we're not far away. We'll just have a quick read of this, shall we? And then we'll probably call it there, because it's been about 45 minutes. Although I don't mind doing a longer video for something that's new. Well, that's the same thing. So we press text, it's just going to give us... Yeah, I can't read that at all, you know. Even when I close one eye, that's awkward. Having a bit of a think about it, I just had a bit of a brainwave when that was going on then, when we were reading Fang. Gaylord! Obtruse Tales. I think you can tell the Oculus mirror which eye to look at. And at the moment, it's mirroring the right-hand eye, which is actually unusual. Normally, when you get a game displaying on the screen and it chooses to not do this sort of stuff on itself, it tends to do the left eye. So it's a little odd that Oculus Mirror by default does the right eye. I think you can change it with a launch command script option, with like a launch option. So if you can do that, I will do that. Force it into the left eye like most other things do, and then you will actually be able to read the text yourselves if you don't want to listen to me reading it out for you. Wouldn't that be nice? So yes, I'm going to leave this here then. This is fascinating. No idea what's going on. Absolutely not a clue, but I love that. It's kind of the same thing I had with Solace Project. But I'm sure we will find out almost everything in due course. Excuse me 1 second, I just need to cough. Oh, blimey. Right. If you did enjoy the video, please do click the like button. If you did enjoy the start of this series, I should say, click the like button. Let me know that you like it. I like to know that you like these things, he said creepily for some reason. You can subscribe to the channel if you haven't already as well. That would also be super awesome. And any comments, leave them down below. Whether that's regards to this series or, like I say, let me know about the streaming thing, games, blah, blah, blah. Opinions. Give me your opinions. I want to know them all. Yeah, got myself turned around. I did say in the other videos as well, I'm probably going to be mentioning the moving and the streaming thing in a few videos, the next few videos that I record, just to try and make sure people are aware that when the content drops, or the number of videos drop, that people are aware exactly what's going on. You don't think I'm just taking the easy way out and dropping my channel's content down, because I like doing 2 videos a day. And the reason I do 2 videos a day is because there's so many games I want to play, and I feel that maybe 1 video a week or so per series is a little... It's not quite enough, maybe. Maybe it's not quite enough. I think you should do, 4 days maybe 5 days, but I think 6 or 7 is a bit too many, really. So that's why I do 2. And also because I want to see what happens in these games. Like Solace Project sent me 42 videos. It was hours and hours and hours and hours. And if I was doing that along a much longer period, it would have been, weeks longer until I found out what happened. Like I said, I started that with one of the first series, and that was, December, January? It was taking me this long to figure it out anyway, to finish the game, so, yeah. So, anyway, rambling on a little bit. Thank you very much for joining me. I shall see you next time in more magical, weird, what the hell's going on adventures in the Vanishing of Ethan Carter.